and reverent to pronounce it the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. Sisters and brothers, Sai Ram, Vanakkam, Namaste. Sai Ram. Thank you. Can I ask for all of you to please come a little bit more closer? Please, I know you love your small seats there. Please come closer, ladies especially. Please come this side here. Thank you so much for that. Brother Shah? You okay? I think Gauteng has been very blessed over the last 2 weeks or 1.5 weeks, and just when we thought it was all over, it wasn't. We sometimes don't often realize that amongst us, the blessings and the miracles and the gems that are and pearls that we find amongst us, we often don't appreciate and recognize. A long time ago, when I had just joined the organization, there was this gentleman from Malaysia who had made a world impact. And he brought out so much of love and devotion in our hearts here in South Africa that it inspired us to another level. And I'm talking about way back in probably 1986, 87, and it was still Swami's teaching. Swami always brought up new teaching. It was the EHB program. We were all thrilled about it, and he was mastering that. And then when he came to South Africa and presented his own signature style, which he hasn't changed much, that captivation, that inspiration and motivation drags us all here to every program. In fact, I'm off to a staff function, and I wish that the staff function did not happen. I hope my staff members don't hear this. Because when Brother Reggie said to me that, Brother Jegathesan can't do one more program, and I thought, but we are overdoing this now. Because he must be so tired, and then he's still going to come from the afternoon and come to a program like this. I know I would be very tired to do something like this. But he's not tired. He says when it comes to any satsang like this, he just gets more energized. In fact, the conference that he came to in Santon is just an excuse for us to meet him. The conference is actually just an excuse. And when I sit and listen to him, we are inspired by so much of his giving, his inspiration, his talent in singing. In 1997, when we attended the first World Youth Conference, there was a song, I think it was in that conference, where the song, I Will Love You More and More Each Day, that song was a theme song. And it became so popular even here. And we began singing English songs in Sai centers because we were so used to Hindi and Sanskrit. It was only because of the inspiration that Swami had given to this brother who had gifted a musical talent in the form of devotion. So in his programs, he not only has music in it, he has so much humor mixed with so much of teachings and so much of depth in the preparation. I'm almost surprised that a youngster like myself cannot even compete in any way in the technological age with the presentations and the sayings and the acronyms that keep coming. So there's so much that anyone can, if they just sit for 10 or 15 minutes, let alone 2 hours, there's so much enriching experiences that we gather from this. And it's no wonder that Swami blessed South Africa once again, because after Mahasamadhi, he calls it AM, after Mahasamadhi, that we needed something like this. We needed a rekindling of and a stimulation of our hearts and our focus back onto Swami. Because many of us across the world, I found out even in India, there is a lack of attendance to programs. I found out in Durban it's the same thing. I thought it was just in Springs, but it's actually happening worldwide. It's a worldwide phenomenon. So Brother Jegathesan has mastered so many of his techniques in presentation. He's inspired so much because he sincerely feels so much closer to Swami when he does this, and we are able to draw this inspiration from him. He comes from Malaysia and he says, I am coming to South Africa whether you like it or not, and here I come. That is his message to Brother Reggie. And so we organize these programs, and thanks to Dr. Reddy, we were able to do this here. And once again, thanks to Dr. Reddy for strongly persuading Brother Jegathesan to come and do this one more program, because I know Brother Rajesh, who's been helping him, taking him all over the place here, would strongly recommend that he doesn't do it, just to give him some rest. And I know that at short notice we have so many people here, and I'm sure so many would love to still be here and probably still stroll in. But nevertheless, I don't know, I've already eaten in so much of the time here. I also want to, on behalf of Central Council, once again, welcome Brother Jegathesan and his wife, Sister Lilita, to our country, to Benoni. I think this is the first time you've been here, brother. So I just want to say that we wish him all the best after this. He is leaving tomorrow back, and I'm sure he will probably pass by here again when Swami decides that he needs to come here again. But we are really, really warmed and heartened to have him here in Benoni and to inspire us once again. So without any further delay, let me ask Brother Jegathesan to take over.
This is the first session I'm having in a Hindu temple. So let us not forget the proper temple protocol. I'd like to invoke, they say the Shivan temple. When I walked in, I saw Ganesha. I said there was a mistake, maybe the Ganesha temple. So this repeat simple mantra. All together. Vakradunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Devi Om Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvadasariye Sharanye Triambage Devi Narayani Namostute Murugan Om Sadananam Kungumaraktavarnam Mahamadim Divya Mayuravaganam Rudrakshasunam Surasainyanatham Kuham Sadaham Sharanam Prabhattaye Sai Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Sathya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayade Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Shanti 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 Salam. Is this a permanent picture of Baba here? Yes. Wow. The temple committee is a very, very universal committee. I understand that this temple is run by the Tamil community. Is that so? How many of you here understand Tamil at least? Understand or speak Tamil? Understand Tamil? Oh, so few, huh? How many of you don't understand Tamil? That's clear sign. Oh, so Brother Reddy, you are wrong. Or Brother, forget what they said. More than 50% will understand Tamil. Because I was going to start with the Tamil song actually, but since the majority are not Tamils, so let me not cause a strain to those others.
Okay.
Huh?
Actually, most are Tamil speaking, but they don't understand.
Most of Tamil speaking, they don't understand. So the other way around. Okay, how many of you understand Tamil at least? Ni silayillai deva. Hey, Tamil flow that is important. Ni silayillai deva. தெய்வம் உயிர் உள்ள தெய்வம் விநாயகா 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 நீ சிலை இல்லை தேவா. You are not a statue, my Lord. நீ உயிர் உள்ள தெய்வம். You are a living divinity. விநாயகா விநாயகா. Okay. சிலை என்றால் என் பாடல் கேட்பாயோ தேவா. சிலை என்றால் என் பாடல் கேட்பாயோ தேவா. If you are a statue, how can you hear my songs? சிலை என்றால் அருள்வாயோ தேவானி தேவா. சிலை என்றால் அருள்வாயோ தேவானி தேவா. If you are a statue, how can you bless me? உருவங்கள் ஏது பெயர் ஏது தேவா. உருவங்கள் ஏது பெயர் ஏது தேவா. What is your form? What is your name? Which is your name? What is your form? நான் பாடும் போது வருவாயே தேவா. நான் பாடும் போது வருவாயே தேவா. When I sing, you must come. நான் பாடும் போது அருள்வாயே தேவா. நான் பாடும் போது அருள்வாயே தேவா. When I sing, you must come and bless all of us. That is the meaning of the song. It is to understand the formlessness of the divinity that all of us worship. Okay? So song now, you are Brahma song, yeah? You are Brahma song. You understood what I said? No, at least now you know. நீ சிலையில்லை தேவா உயிர் உள்ள தெய்வம் விநாயகா விநாயகா. நீ சிலையில்லை உயிர் உள்ள தெய்வம் விநாயகா விநாயகா. நீ சிலையில்லை தேவா உயிர் உள்ள தெய்வம் விநாயகா Sathya, can I have some technical support? Can you just get the thing on the screen, please? I don't see. Oh yeah. Okay, in all of you who are in the most of my presentation are using this whiteboard, this screen here. So please move yourselves where you can see the screen. Okay, you're not going to. If those of you need a wall to sit against, rent a wall somewhere. Now the trouble is, the moment you plug the thing inside, all the pictures change. Okay, the subject, the question is now, before this session started, big debate was going on. What topic should I talk about? Now let me ask you, how many of you were here, have heard me speak in the last 3 sessions I've had now? How many of you have heard me in all these sessions? How many have not heard me in all these sessions? My God, we cannot do any other session now. But never mind. So since we will, this we had some incredible sessions. I'm afraid you all missed that one. The one session on the miracle of Sai devotion. Can devotees do miracles? Second session we had in Pretoria was about the Vedas, the teaching of the Vedas. Okay, everybody now chants Vedas, but no one knows what the teaching. And the third session we had was on the legacy. What is the world legacy of the Sathya Sai avatar in the years to come? How should the world stand and thank Baba for avatar too? Not just India, the world. What is our role? So those 3 topics we covered. Apparently, I understand those 3 topics have been captured on DVD, on video, on DVD, something like that. Who has done it? The brother that's sitting there. And in fact, he presented to me that DVD, that was so. Anyone wants to catch up on those 3 other sessions, brother, perhaps they can get through the organization or whatever it is. Okay. So today I thought we'll talk about. I understand that some of the people here are not members of Sathya Sai Baba organization. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I thought should we, what topic can we? How many of you are not members of Sathya Sai Baba organization? All are members? 1 or 2? Okay, oh fine. Okay. No, I mean that happens for everybody. Okay. But so today I thought the debate now should we talk about. Then Brother Reddy said we ask you all. The 2 topics I can cover today. Alternative. One is I call it the drops of the ocean. That means Swami, since the time he started speaking till Mahasamadhi, has covered an ocean of topics, ocean of speeches is given. If somebody asks a Sai devotee, hey, what is Baba's teaching? What is the answer? Can you give an answer that will convince him in a very short thing that here we have an omniscient, omnipresent divine being walking this earth? Not just a mediocre being. But in a summary, if so I call it drops of the ocean. 5 drops enough to cover why his avatar group is there. That's one topic. So that anyone asks you nowadays, now the problem is this that I find around the world, in Malaysia, everywhere, as the Sai movement is expanding, the periphery, we're contacting more and more new people. Okay, we're contacting government people, other religious organizations, non-Sai devotees. Our family members don't know anything about this. And how do we explain to them the essence of Swami's teaching? This is the first main challenge we have. The second topic I have is called surrender, Sharanam. Everybody says Sharanam, Ganapati Sharanam, Murugan Sharanam, Sharanam. What is the meaning of Sharanam? What is the real meaning? How do you know you are Sharanam when you are Sharanam? Is it falling on the ground, knocking your head on the floor? Is that Sharanam? Many people think that's Sharanam, They fall flat. No, they will not fall at parents' feet. They'll come and fall here. And then sometime afraid they'll dirty the shirt or so. So what's the real meaning of Sharanam? Are there dimensions of meaning of Sharanam? Sharanam must be applicable in daily life, it's not no use. Anything about divinity, if there's no application in daily life, is no use to us, okay? It's because divinity pervades the universe. Here we have a focal point of divine energy, but everywhere he is. How do we express this surrender for daily life? And how can this surrender help? Now, so we have two topics, okay? One is the essential teachings of Bhagavan Baba that we must know and how to explain the other. Second is Sharana. So, because this is a democratic country, it is right. And since the Sai movement is a democratic movement, though some people seem to that thing is not, okay? So, I will give you an option, right? So, just show of hands, okay? But when I ask you to show hands, don't do like that, okay? I cannot see, this is a distinct show of hands, right? How many, what topic, how many of you would like me to cover the essential teachings of Bhagavan Baba that all of us should know so we can explain to the world what his teachings are? How many of you? How many like me to talk the topic of Sharana, surrender? Hey. Some of you putting hand twice, okay? So now, so what we'll do, we will talk about then, I saw Brother Reddy's hand and Kishan's hands are coming up, okay? So I better follow the leaders, no? You won't invite me again, I guess. So I'm going to share with you today this topic of Sharana. Okay? Is that okay? Okay. Now, okay, very good. I'm glad that non-Sai devotees are here because I'm going to show you some secrets of organization from here that will amuse you. So the topic I'm going to talk is, and you may, I've talked about this topic many years ago, but I've talked for a long time, so here we are. This is the topic I'm going to cover. It is called Religious or Sai Olympics. Religious Olympics or Sai Olympics. That means Olympics that go take place in temples, churches, and the concept of surrender. These two topics are combined. Now this is, though I'm in a temple, you will be having a lot of fun in discussing this topic. You understand that people say, Jaga, how come whenever we speak about God, you crack so many jokes and everything, you're not serious. The religious person must be very serious. Once you're religious, you are no jokes. That you may be having a stomachache or a headache. God is Sat-Chit Ananda. And the Ananda is what must manifest in us when we talk of divinity. Ananda. Through Ananda we reach Ananda. That is what the whole teachings of Hinduism is. How can we ourselves become that Sat-Chit Ananda? So, for me, God is my father, God is my mother. That's why in Hinduism, there's no such thing as God-fearing. That is a Western concept. God-loving. God-loving. Anbe Shivam. Don't you know Tamil? God is love. And to reach that love, you must follow the path of love. The path of Ananda. That's why I want to enjoy divinity. I laugh, I sing, I break coconut also once in a while. So today I talk about Sai Religious Olympics, okay? Very interesting topic. Normal Olympics, normal Olympics was there recently, okay? Where was it held? London. Normal Olympics, what do we have, as you know? There are people, the people who hear about Olympics, isn't it? Normal Olympics, there are people, there are millions and millions, the millions of the world who hear about Olympics. Comes on TV, is it true? Virtually in South Africa, for example, maybe 90% of the population would have heard about it, except those living in the bush. However, those who buy the tickets are a fraction of those who hear about the Olympics. Correct? Buy the ticket to enter the stadium. But those who enter the stadium and watch are much less. Of course, buy the ticket sometimes won't come up, but much less. Maybe 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 out of the millions. And then those who participate in the Olympics is much less. See how the thing is going less and less. Now, so therefore, this is how the Olympics. However, In the spiritual dimension, exactly the same thing. Let us not talk about Sai. Let us talk about just God itself. Okay? People who hear about God, know about God is millions in the world. Okay? But those who come to a temple, who come to temple regularly, that ticket to enter the temple, though the temple don't sell tickets, okay? Much less. Then those who come to the temple and take part in the religious ceremonies, much less. And those who really follow the teachings of God, much less. Okay, that's why Hinduism has a very good saying, Padikrada Thevaram Yedikrada Sivan Goil. That means the guy will sing songs of God, okay? Same fellow will break down the Hindu temple also. What does that mean? That doesn't mean he goes on breaking down the temple, he'll get killed, okay? It is a Sai center to watch and participate. Fourth, those who put into practice, this is summary of the fourth thing, okay? Right? You all agree? Hello? Yes. I'm trying to put a spotlight into some of our behavior, you know, for you to look within now, look within. Now, however, we've already reduced the whole thing now into the fourth one, those who participate. Now we come to the field, the real field, athletes taking part in the Olympics of religion, Olympics of Sai, whatever. Number one, there are sprinters, isn't it? Sprinters. Number two, there are marathon runners. Number three, the shot put people, you know. Isn't it? Any Olympics are there, okay? However, let us look now at a similar. But now in the Divine Olympics, same as in the Olympics, there are the same people available in the religious Olympics or the Sai Olympics. Why I'm making the difference between religious and Sai? Because Sai is not religion. Please understand this. Those who don't know this, Sai is not a religion. I am a Sai devotee, but Swami, I was an atheist. For 32 years of my life, I was an atheist. My family were all great devotees of God, Murugan, Sivan, everybody, but I was an atheist. Why was I an atheist? I'll tell you why, for 32 years of my life. Because no one could explain to me what's happening in Hindu temple. So young man will go, take mother and go, I'll ask, why this elephant god? Hey, don't ask questions. Okay? All Hindus pray, you also better pray. Why elephant god? Don't. Why is Murugan has two wives? I'm a good Murugan devotee, can I also have two? Hey, don't ask too much questions. Why Agarbatti? Don't know. Why light Jodi? Don't know. Why you put flowers? Don't know. Why Shiva has a snake around his neck? Can you imagine this, devotee? Can you imagine this? Now, your youngsters, your children, go to school one day. One school. And then other Christian or one Muslim, whoever will ask your child one question. Young fellow, how old are you, son? 12 years old. He goes to school. And then hey, you pray to Shiva. Do you pray to Shiva? He says yes. Then the fellow will ask him, you know Shiva is a devil? What to say? Hey, look the Bible. Devil is holding a trident. Do you know that? Look at the devil pictures. Shiva holds a trident. Then, what is the one that tempted Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden? The snake. Devil in the form of a snake. Shiva has a snake around his neck. He's the devil. The poor fellow totally confused now. He comes over, Papa. My friend is saying that Shiva is devil, Papa. Hey, don't ask stupid questions, okay? Don't ask stupid questions. Don't ask stupid. In fact, they're asking the most intelligent question of all. Because the parents don't know the answer, I always tell people, the graveyard of Hinduism is dug in the home of Hindus. Don't blame people for converting Hindus, you know. I was such a person. None of my elders could give me any answers, you know. I come to a Hindu temple, what do I see? I see I see an elephant, I see a bull, I see a snake, I see peacock, a whole zoo is there. You know? And no one can explain to me what it's all about. So I moved away. I thought, what a pagan religion this is. Okay? Then I heard about Baba. I became anti-Baba, very strong into it. Then a lot of miracles happened in my life. Then finally I became involved in Swami. Then I asked, what is Swami's teaching? Okay, if I'm going to become devotee, what must I do? Then the first thing I heard was, Swami says, Hindu must become better Hindu. I said, oh my God. You mean I must go into this pagan religion? But then, because my guru said this, I began to study my religion. Dear devotees, Hinduism is pure science. 100% this Hindu temple is a science laboratory. Someone once one day told me, Jega, I should give, then I started studying, and then I became talking. I give talks on Hinduism around the world. In America, in Australia, especially my target is youth. You know, we must make them, those guys are target of conversion, or even today, for many of the Hindus now, youth today around the world, Hinduism is a religion only to fill the application form. Hindu, that's all. Nothing else they do. And only one other thing, marriage, it's marriage ceremony. The only time they fall the father's feet, the mother's feet is marriage ceremony. Other than that, parents are scared that they fall, they pull the leg and let the father fall. So how do we change all this? So I began to do this massive session around the world. I call it Hindu track. I wanted to do this in South Africa if there's a need, but not under Sai. The Sai is not a religion. We are interfaith. Though all of you, if this scene was in Malaysia, you'll find half the crowd Chinese. In America, 100% will be Europeans. You know, because Baba says Hindu become better Hindu, Christian better Christian, Buddhist better Buddhist. So this particular yearning that I should become better Hindu because I began to study my religion. So this is, I'm just giving a bit of background, okay, where I'm coming from, okay. So today, so if there's a request, not under Sai, but under Hindu banner, I'm prepared to conduct a 2-day sadhana camp to talk about the science of Hinduism. Why is that? This is an incredible, pure science. And no, that is why this religion has survived for more than 5,000 years. Dear friend, think about this. I'm sorry, I'm deviating slightly, but you all caught me in this track now. Think about this, okay? There were other great religions and civilizations before us. There were the Egyptian civilization. Egyptian gods were equal to the Hindu gods, okay? What happened to Egyptian religion? Disappeared into the desert. Now the only thing we hear about the Egyptian religion is the mummy and the return of the mummy. Those of you who don't see movies, you may not know what I'm saying. That disappeared, religion. Greek religion, the great Greek religion that gave the world democracy, that built the Parthenon. The Greek religion disappeared. And they have equal number of gods, Zeus and Thor and all these gods, you know. That's disappeared. The only Greek religion left today, God today, is Thor. In the movie, you know, Thor. Egyptian religion, Greek religion, Incas is now in America. Great civilization. The people think they are from the heavens, you know, they are from planet overseas, you know, they've come from outer space. They tell incredible forms there. Disappeared. Think of this now. How come all these great ancient religions have disappeared? The only religion that predates our recorded time is Hinduism. How has it survived so long? Think of this. And that's because of the teachings. Unfortunately, today the Hindus don't know the teachings. So this is the challenge in this ways. Don't blame the youngsters for moving away from the religion again. I blame ourselves. We have failed our youngsters. We have failed to we give them all the statues and everything, but we failed to tell them the meaning of this. One day I used to give talks on Hinduism in Malaysia. One day one fellow came, Jega, you know, Hinduism is very difficult, he said. One Hindu came to me after my talk. He said, why? You see, you go to a church, after the prayers, the priest will explain teaching of the Bible, he'll explain the teachings of religion. You go to the mosque, Ustaz will explain the meaning of the Quran. Go to Hindu temple, break coconut, throw flowers, no one explains anything, you know. Then I told him, that's why you're wrong, I said. In the Hindu temple, dear brothers and sisters, the Devas are talking to us. Murugan is talking to me, Ganapati is talking to me, Shiva is talking to me, but they're talking to us in the language of symbols. We have become ignorant in the language of the gods. That is the problem. So among this track session I have is explain this. What are the gods telling us? Why are they using symbols? It's a long session, I won't go into that. Anyway, come back to this. So likewise now, in the religious Olympics or divine Olympics, like in the real Olympics, there are 3 sports: sprinters, marathon runners, and short put players. So let me not touch about the Hindu temples because we are in one temple, but let me talk about the Sai devotees here, Sai centers. The sprinters are the fellows who joined the Sai movement, very active in what is so fired up in our Swami, very active, 1 year, 1.5 years, they are very active, pushing the Sai leaders, then slowly disappear. Then next time you say, well, brother, very busy. I want to participate, very busy. As though the other fellow is unemployed, These are the sprinters. They come fast, disappear. You may recognize some of them, hopefully they aren't dissolved. Likewise in religions also. Actively they come, do, then it's going to disappear. After they get what they want, or because they don't get what they want. Very funny, If they get what they want, God gives them so much, Kubera gives so much, God, that they become so rich now, they become so successful, no time for the temple now. Or they didn't get what they want, okay, this Shiva didn't give me, I'll go to the next temple now. And try my luck there, like that. The second are the marathon runners. These people are the people who will run and run and run from 20 years ago, they were there, 10 years, they will continue, and that until the last breath, they'll continue to serve the temple or serve the spiritual movement. And you can see these people around. As they age, they are there. And I can see around me here now, some marathon runners, okay, whom I've known for 20 years ago, 21 years, they're still here. Some sprinters I see now coming in, whether sprinter will become marathon runner, I don't know. Then short put. Short put is throwing the weight. So now, this is the Olympic, people throwing things and taking up heavy burden and doing it. So we'll come to that later. Now in the Sai Olympics, in the new events now have been introduced into Sai Olympics. So let me come back to short put again. The short put is what? No, sprinters are those short that disappear. Marathoners sacrifice. Short put what now? Devotees, those fellows who come to Sai center or come to temples and start throwing dirt at each other people. No? They'll throw dirt at that person, they throw dirt, and that's what they do. That is the short put, is throwing dirt. Dirt at everybody. Now some of you may recognize some people, hopefully you are not the short put athlete, okay? Now we got some new events now coming in the Sai fold, in the Sai movement. And also I think in temples and churches everywhere. Running on the spot. These are fellows who join the Sai center, join the temple, and they keep on running on. They don't do anything else, they don't do anything. But they are useful people because they fill the hall, okay? They don't do seva, they don't come around and help anywhere, they just sit down, but they occupy a very important place because they fill the temple hall, okay? Not Sai center, nobody, So at least they run on the spot. At least they don't do harm, They don't mind those fellows. Now we have another group of new events. Those running backwards. This now, actually there's a real event. You can see this is running backwards. There is a real event, fellows running backwards. I didn't realize that. I was telling my wife for all these pictures, so I don't know how she got the picture running backwards. Devotees, what happened now? The fellow who comes to Sai center or a temple or whatever it is, or a church, before that he comes, he is not fighting with anybody. After joining the center or the temple, he starts fighting with everybody. Instead of becoming more peaceful, more loving, he starts fighting with people. And you can probably see some of these people around you. Remember I told you the other day when I talked about the teaching Vedas, the Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. Those people on the Pravritti Marga, the ego evolution, these people, whatever position they hold, temple committee, church committee, whatever it is, they can't help but fight these people. They want to divide and rule. Then you come to the called Nivritti Marga. This is all Vedas. Nivritti Marga, the person will give his life to unite people. That is, you can see that, of course, he need not give their life, but they will be only so loving. They don't care about position, nothing, as long as it's unity and love. These are those, so they're running backwards, those guys come into Sai movement, okay, and then they start fighting, having more enemies after joining the movement than before. This is outside South Africa, okay? No, sir, I'm not give tomorrow. Then come the other fellows. The running backwards sprinter. This fellow comes in the center, he starts fighting everybody, and thankfully he leaves after a short while. Oh, you're so happy, thank God for that. The worst type is the running backwards marathon runner. That guy remains there year after year after year after year, causing trouble, causing misery, and you pray to God, God, let him go to the other center, God, let him go to the other temple. No chance, you remain there. to make a this is that. You think, reflect and you see all these characters around. Only question is, are we such a character? Then, other than this Hindu temple, I'm trying to make a point now. You all remember all this, okay? All of you go to the front of the mirror and ask yourself this question: what am I? Am I a sprinter? Marathon shot put throwing dirt at everybody? Am I running on the spot, doing no use to anybody? You know? Am I running backwards? Am I fighting more people before than I came in? Am I arguing with more people? Am I running backwards? Only thing you won't know whether you're running backwards, sprinter or marathon. Only at the time comes. Now we come to a new one. Just this again. I'm trying to show this so that you all remember. Have you heard of Jurassic Park? So now in the temples and Sai centers outside Africa, the Sai centers, some Sai centers become like a Jurassic Park. There are some fellows who they are like the Brontosaurus. This fellow. They're not very aggressive. They come without their knowledge, they do a lot of damage, you know. See, Brontosaurus, you bring a Brontosaurus inside this creature, the fellow moves, the tail will break everything, you know. It is totally unaware he has broken. There are fellows like that. Innocently they cause so much trouble. Okay? Then the other fellow, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, their whole life they are biting someone. Okay? They're fighting his people, boring his people, idling his devotees. So the question now in this Jurassic Park, are you the human beings fighting for survival in this world? Are you the Brontosaurus? Are you the Tyrannosaurus Rex? All for, don't point at the other fellow, you know, wow, you are Tyrannosaurus Rex. So don't forget 3 fingers pointing at you. So now that is just for something to tickle your mind. Okay? Now we come to the question of Sharanam, surrender. We always say, everybody, Ganesha Sharanam, I surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. We say, Swamiye Sharanam, Ayyappa Sharanam, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. What is this Sharanam? Everybody say Sharanam. Whether a Christian will say, I surrender to the feet of the Lord. Hindus, everyone. What is this Sharanam? Even Buddhists say, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Such a universal word. What's the meaning of this? What is Sharanam? What is the meaning of Sharanam? How do you know we are truly Sharanamd? I don't think there's a word in the dictionary like that. Does Sharanam mean falling flat on the floor and knocking your head on the ceiling? Oh, sorry, on the floor. Well, if you fall on the floor and knock your head on the ceiling, there's something unusual there. Continue. Is Sharanam meaning throwing a huge basket full of flowers at God? What do you mean by Sharanam? So we're going to examine the various dimensions of Sharanam. The concept of surrender. How? How do you surrender? First, the surrendering oneself to God. What do you mean by that? Okay, let me firstly ask you, okay, surrendering oneself to God. How do everybody say, talk about surrender myself to God? You heard of this? Everybody wants to surrender himself to God, no? Hello? Yes. Everybody wants to do that. So how do you do this? What do you mean, sir? Jega, I go to Puttapati 5 times a year. I'm totally surrendered to Baba. It only means you have enough money to buy ticket to go there and come back, and you're possibly unemployed, okay? You can go 5 times a year. So that's not surrender. What is your surrender? So let us look at the meaning of surrender, okay? When you say surrender, in the normal world usage of surrender, what is the meaning? I'm going to ask the young man sitting down here. Son, what's your name, son? Kishan? Kashe. What is the meaning of surrender? Can you understand me surrender? When people use the word surrender, normally, let's say, in TV or anywhere, what's the meaning? Come again? Come here. Kashe,
They do something, whatever they want to do.
Okay, do something they want to do. Okay, now, when do people normally use the word surrender?
When they really want to do something.
Do something. Okay, fine. It's a good explanation. Again, Kashe. Give me a hand for Kashe, okay? Anyone want to volunteer? Surrender, sir. Surrender. When do you use the word surrender? When do normal usage, how did the word surrender come up in the first place?
Yeah, surrender is when you give yourself wholeheartedly.
Coming?
When you give yourself wholeheartedly.
No, I'm talking about that. You're talking about spiritual dimension. The normal usage of the word, you talk about dictionary.
When you give up.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Correct. So who normally surrenders?
The loser.
Exactly. When you fight with someone, the loser surrenders, isn't it? Huh? That's how the original surrender came. Okay. For example, now watch. When the Roman Empire those days, swept across the Europe, okay, did the nation surrender to Rome? No, they surrender. What do you mean surrender? That means how do you they surrender? Means they accept Roman law, they accept Roman religion, everything, you know. Roman way of dress also they accept, okay. When the Japanese conquered Asia, those early the Japanese, what happened? The country surrendered. When they surrendered, then you then take on as a surrenderee, the person surrendered, the laws, rules, regulations, you know, of the conqueror, isn't it? That's a conscious surrender. You know? For example, in Malaysia those days, this is a, okay, you know, I was born in 1944, and after I was born, the war ended, okay. Why are you laughing? Check your history, okay? After I was born, the war ended. Anyhow, so what happened is they surrendered. So before I was born, there's another fellow called Jegathesan who was there at the time, older than me. So he used to tell me his experience. You know, the Japanese, you know, they use the word san. You know, what's your name, sir? What's your name? Minda. It's a Japanese name, Minda-san. You know, Minda-san. Regi-san. Rajesh-san. They'll say san. You know. So this fellow told me this story, you know. So Japanese will ask everybody to meet them to Paula. Okay. So then he was a youngster, about 15 years old. Japanese soldiers came. So, what's your name? So Jegathesan. This time, no son, Jagati. How can we say you're Mr. Jagati, you know? You're not Mr. The son is Mr. Is it? So you're going to say that kind of stories, you know. So, however, watch now. However, when the Russians, remember the history a few years ago, when the Russians invaded Afghanistan, did the Afghans surrender? No, Afghanistan, they went into the hills, you know, and they fought the Russians from the hillside hills, okay? And even this murder, what's his name? Rambo went there, you remember, okay? So at least you know history, okay? Rambo went there also, but the Russians, finally the Russians pulled out. Till today, Afghans are still facing the West, you know, and looking at them, you know, without surrendering, okay? So that means surrender means totally to accept whatever the conqueror is giving you. The devotees then. We as devotees of God, Krishna, Rama, Murugan, whatever it is, what does it mean? Surrender means the devotee. When you surrender to God, that means your total surrender is when you accept within you all the qualities of the divinity you worship. That is total surrender. If God is love, you become love. If God is peace, you become peace. If God is compassion, you become compassion. When the devotee surrenderee absorbs into himself all the qualities of the person you surrender to, then you become a Jivan Mukta. Then people raise their hands and worship you. As Ramana Maharishi, Swami Vivekananda, even Mahatma Gandhi, people now worship. Those are Jesus, all these people again. When they absorb themselves. So all of us now are possibly in the process of surrender. But remember, the key is now to accept. If you think Murugan is divinity, then what are the qualities of Murugan? That makes you must accept within yourself. Because why? God is inside you. So you can call it, that is the real conscious surrender. It is not falling the flat. Okay, you can fall the follow, that's not an issue. But what do you surrender the most, devotees? You do not surrender your body, you know. You surrender your mind to God. That is ultimate surrender. The mind you must surrender. That's why you see some of these people, you know, Jivan Muktas, you know, they walk around. They look like mad people, okay? You know, they look what they do, but they're totally, you know, from outer point of view, they look at it like crazy. But inside, the powerhouse of divine. That is surrendering oneself to God. Okay, does that make sense to you? Hello?
Yes.
Second, surrendering one's activities, actions to God, Nishkama Karma. Second comes surrender. Who is the person who gave the world is concerned Nishkama Karma? Krishna. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita telling Arjuna, do you want to fight? Arjuna in the battlefield didn't want to fight, okay? And he was standing there, or wanted to surrender. And then Krishna said, Gita, the entire Gita, you know, the concept of Krishna, your job is to act. Do not be concerned with the fruits of your action. That's the entire concept. Now, how practical this is in daily life? There will be another session one day we'll have it on Niskama Karma, you all want. How is the application of this kind of Niskama Karma in daily life? It's something that all of us will understand. How do we surrender our actions to God? This is a very beautiful topic, but today there's no time to go into such detail. Niskama Karma, surrender to God. And it's so wonderful application. Let's say, supposing you can do your best, you know, in the world, but people may not appreciate the action. So don't get angry. You say, this I dedicate to God. God, I dedicate you. What is that? You praise me, very good. You don't praise me, also good. Because I will dedicate to God. Okay? I don't need a lower human being to tell me anything. Okay? So next time there's a big, much more deeper subject, and then we go to the next time. No, action activity with God. Third one. Having not only faith, but confidence in God. Now what's the difference between that now? What's the difference between faith and confidence? Having faith, it sounds the same, you know. Hey, faith in God, faith in God is the same. Faith in God. Now I'll tell you a story here. Okay? I may have told the story before, because I go around telling the story all the time. I had put a knapsack on the back and he walks around. He went to the Grand Canyon. How many of you have been to the Grand Canyon? Only the little girl, very good. Good, darling. How can you all send her alone? Okay, now mind. Okay, how many of you have seen pictures of the Grand Canyon? Good, most have seen pictures. Very good, I'll tell you one thing. I've been to the Grand Canyon 2 or 3 times. Nothing, every picture you've seen, nothing can prepare you for what is a real Grand Canyon. It's a magnificent sight, awe-inspiring sight. How many have been to the Victoria Falls? Okay. Those of you have not been. Victoria Falls you've seen on movies, you've seen, but nothing prepares you for when you go there. You know, my God, look at the thing, you, wow. You know, I've been there about 9 times now. Every time I go there, I get stunned by the crazy. You see, how can divinity create such a fantastic? Likewise, Grand Canyon. When you go there, beautiful, incredible sight, incredible depth. Okay? So this fellow went to the Grand Canyon. And by the way, he's inside devotee. So he went to the Grand Canyon, did a knapsack. Then he comes, the Grand Canyon is 3,000 feet. How many feet? 3,000 feet deep, okay? So he goes now to the, this is the edge of the Grand Canyon. Okay, let's say this white wire, edge of the Grand Canyon. And he then goes near the Grand Canyon, the knapsack, and then there's a sign there. It says, don't go near the edge. Warning, you know, everywhere. So the fellow is side devotee, you know. Which side devotee follows instructions, okay? What is that? Swami, wife here when I'm here. This is how the fellows childhood misuse. Sir, you get to know this now, the misuse one is. Why are you wiping him here? Wife here when I'm here. What is that? Swami, wife here. So he goes and stands there and looks down. He looks down. He looks down. How does he see? How many feet? 3,000 feet. As he stands there looking at this incredible wonder, suddenly the edge gives way and the fellow begins to fall. He's falling, as he falls 100 feet, okay, 100 feet, he managed to grab a branch, you know, sticking out of the wall. And now he's holding. Come, I need help again. How old are you? How old are you? 30. 30 now, don't worry. Not unlike you, very lucky. See, I've called you so many times once. I'm not saying you can hold this. This hand pains, hold this hand. Right now. So just holding him already. Right. So now the fellow falls, as he falls, he catches onto this branch, okay? The Grand Canopy, and then he got now 100 feet is fallen. He's got the branch. Now he looks down. How many feet?
3,000.
I shall repeat the question again. After falling 100 feet in a 3,000 drop, it cannot be still 3,000 feet. So how many feet? 2,900. He sees downstairs 2,900. He's strong fellow, no. He's holding the branch. Okay. He decided to call Baba, Okay. Baba, Sathya Sai Baba, Bhagwan Baba, Puttapati Baba, Vrindavan Baba. He called combination. Childri Baba, he calls me for 15 minutes, he calls, okay? Nothing happens. He thinks, okay, this Baba is new, you know. Better go back to my old gods, okay? Ganapati, Muruha, you know, Shiva, Lakshmi, Durga. And Hindus say 1,600, 1,300 names, went on and on and on, 1 hour. Every god's name he mentioned, okay? Still nothing happened. He's getting a bit desperate, okay? Okay. Oh, the Hindu gods are in India. This is America. Jesus, Jesus, Mother Mary, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. You know, he went to every god, so finally God got fed up, okay? Who won't get fed up with shouting his name so much? Suddenly the skies opened and the voice of God thundered through the Grand Canyon. My son, I hear your voice. The God's voice, something like that, okay? Don't believe, huh? You don't believe, huh? Okay, one day you'll find out. Okay. One day you'll find out. A serious topic, my friend, is all you're laughing. My son, I hear your voice. Why fear when I am here? My son, do not fear. Let go of the branch, and I shall catch you in the palm of my hand. Hey, who's playing the fool there? Okay? Throw me a rope, okay, heaven's sake. Get what it is. He had the faith to call, but not the confidence that God would answer the call. Thank you, son. Big hand for him, okay? The question is very good. That's why the other day I talked about the miracle of sight devotion. Okay. How many of us dare to do something, you know, so grand and so fantastic, you know, that without God's intervention, the program cannot succeed. Program of human welfare cannot succeed. What you dare to do. That means what you're jumping off the edge of the Grand Canyon. God, catch me. If not, I die. That is the courage, we say. That is the confidence that overrides the faith and makes you one. Make him understand, thy will be done. But many people, I told you, sir, so many people come to the temple, they say, oh Shiva, oh Muruha, Muruha, Vanavinaya, Yella Munsayal, thy will be done, but please do it this way, okay? I want you to do this for me. If you don't do this Muruha or Ganapati, then next time I won't bring coconuts for you. But you know what is, thy will be done. It's a very powerful thing, okay? 100% faith. Come what may. The next concept of surrender is this. Not expecting the waves of the ocean to be stilled. Here, you know, the Hindus call our life ocean of samsara. Ocean of samsara. You heard that, huh? Ocean of samsara. Why do we call this ocean of samsara? Jega. Why ocean? I'm not in the ocean. I don't swim. I don't go to the beach. Why they call ocean of samsara? Why ocean? What's the meaning of ocean? Tell you what it is? It's up and down, happiness, sorrow, victory, defeat, up and down, and mostly that ocean of samsara operating in two levels. Number one, your life itself, okay? Up and down, success, failure, victory, defeat, wealth, poverty, goes on and on. And second level of the ocean samsara, human mind. If you tap your brain and put in a machine, what's the machine called, brother, that records your brain waves? Doctor, no? Or dentist? What is the machine that's called that? EEG, electroencephalograph, okay? EEG, when you put your thing, no, MRI, very modern, records the brain waves. The brain waves, Oh, you're a doctor, is it? Oh, okay. EEG, the thing, you put the thing, plug it in your head, okay? I think it goes like that, right? That's enough. So 2 levels of waves, you know. The waves in the human mind, up and down, that cause confusion and sorrow. And the waves in the life ocean, that's what they call ocean. Now devotees, here we are, in the ocean of samsara, all of us. And then, The waves are lashing at us, lashing, problem, family problem, the wealth problem, house problem, business problem, wife problem, husband problem, children problem. My God, so on. Then you say, God, please God, I'm praying to you. Please help me. Can you stop the waves of the ocean? The God will reply, my child. By now you recognize it, yeah? My child, I cannot stop the waves of the ocean. Why? You are called and I haven't said why. Because, my child, you have created the waves yourself. Your past life, what you have done, you're suffering this particular thing. You're enjoying the benefits of this life. What you've done early in this life, you're benefiting now or suffering now. You have created the waves yourself. How can I stop the very waves that you have created? Then God, at least throw me a life belt, okay? Give me a life belt at least. My child, I cannot give you a life belt. God is crying and telling me, my child, I cannot even give you the life belt. What is the use of praying to God? Can you imagine the waves going, what's the use of praying to God? And then God said, I cannot give you the life belt, but I can teach you how to make the life belt. Okay, come on. Let me have the book. Where is it? My child, you have the book in your house. What book in the house? I have no book of life belt. I have no book of how to make life belt in my house. No, my child. The book is called Bhagavad Gita. It teaches you how to make the life belt. The book is called the Bible. It teaches you how to make the life belt, survive this rocking of the ocean. The book is called Quran that teaches you how to survive this ocean. You have the Bible in your house, my child? Yes. Have you read it? Not quite. Where is the Bible? Where is the Bhagavad Gita in that? In my altar. Devotees, let me ask you a question. All of you Hindus here. How many of you have Bhagavad Gita in your house? Good, everybody said. Even the Saivite people have got, no? Bhagavad Gita. But I must tell you this, some Saivite won't have Bhagavad Gita. How many of you here can give me one verse of Bhagavad Gita? Hindus? Only Hindus answer. 1 person, 2 person, 3 persons. 4. Can you imagine the devotees? This is a part of Hinduism, no? Bhagavad Gita is the only hidden spiritual text we got other than the Vedas, okay? Which none of us understand anyhow. Yet, the Hindus don't know the content of Bhagavad Gita except a handful. But if this is a hall of Christians, okay, and I ask you all one question, how many of you can give me the verse of the Bible? How many hands will come up with it? All hands will come up. If this is a hall of Muslims, and ask how many of you can give me, quote to me verse of the Quran, how many hands will come with it? All. Now you know the power of Hinduism again. You know what the Hindus do? Hindus are great guys, okay? Anybody got a book here? No book. Okay. Let us say this is the book. Okay, I know it's a handphone, but it's a book. Let's say. What the Hindus do, devotees, they take the book now and they go and put, here we are, it's a book here. Let me use it. Here's the book now, Bhagavad Gita, let us say. Nicely bound, thick cover, no thin cover books. Hindus now buy thin cover book, Bhagavad Gita, thick cover books. They take the Bhagavad Gita and they go and put it in the altar. And every day when they pray, they put flowers on the Bhagavad Gita. And then some of them more advanced people take and hit their head. As though by hitting on the head, the knowledge will come inside straight away. Dear devotees, Krishna did not give a book. Krishna gave us the most profound teachings of divinity translated into 45 languages. But for those who are not worshipping Krishna, how to get the knowledge? The gods are talking to us. If you understand the language of the gods, you need not read any book. If you know what Ganapati is telling us, what Murugan is telling us, What Shiva is telling us, no books necessary. Moksha enough, just to understand the science of Hindu symbolism. What the gods are telling us. Of course, we got Tevaram, Tiruvasam knowledge, no? But how many people here now, they forget about Tevaram, Tiruvasam, they don't understand only Tamil. How do you understand Tevaram, Tiruvasam? This is the ancient word, Tamil. So, what do we do, devotees? To make a real life belt, what are the things you need? To make a real life belt like this, what are the things you need? Sir, young man, next time you never sit in front of me. Brother, make a real life belt, what do you need? Something to float. Yeah, once you make it, to float. What are the ingredients to make a life belt? Huh?
Rope.
Huh? You know what?
Rope.
What are the materials? What are the materials?
Plastic.
Number one, plastic is not.
Plastic or polystyrene.
Plastic, okay? Polystyrene, plastic, rubber, whatever. Okay, that's first thing, okay? Number two, what?
Rope.
Not rope, the thread.
Yeah.
Thread, okay? Thread to bind the plastic. So then you got a rough this thing now. Then what is the third thing you need now to make it float? Air. Exactly. Wow, all of you are lifeboat experts. Let me go taste. Now we got the ingredients to make lifeboat. We got the plastic. Okay. Then we got the plastic, and then over the plastic they'll probably put a rubber covering. Rubber covering. Okay, plastic rubber covering. Then the thread, tie the whole thing together, and the air. Now you can lifeboat. Devotees. Now, remember what God is telling this verse down in the ocean, my son. The Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Bible, these are the guidebooks of how to make the life belt in the ocean of samsara. What is it? 4 things. Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. The 4 yogas are there. That is your life belt. Bhakti Yoga, devotion to God, Dhyana Yoga, meditation, the Jnana Yoga, knowledge, and Karma Yoga, service. But what is the wonderful thing about God, devotees? Whereas a real life belt, you need 4 materials. But God's infinite mercy realized that you fellows can't get 4 materials. He said only for this Kali Yoga, 2 materials you can make the life belt ready. Oh, God, it's easier than I thought, okay? What is it now? In the Kali Yoga, devotees, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. That is it too. So this is the surrendering, not expecting. You can't expect God to still the ocean of life, samsara. We must make that life belt to keep us on top. So come the smashing of the waves, we still remain on top. Come suffering, whatever, we don't drown. Now does it make sense to you all? So just do, bhakti karma. Bhakti means devotion, love. Again, what's the meaning of bhakti? Bhakti, is it, oh, Muruga, I love you, Muruga. When I think of you, Muruga, tears are pouring on Muruga. Oh, Shiva, when I think of you, Shiva, tears pour. Shiva, I love you so much, Shiva. Muruga, I love you. I hate the other fellow, but I love you so much, Muruga. Devotees, God will not accept that love. Love for God means love the God in everybody. Tattvam asi, aham brahmasmi. That is the meaning. If you have hatred for one person in your heart, the light switches off. Wonderful. God has put an invisible light inside us. You know the James Bond movie, you see the light, when you cross the light, alarm will ring, like that. There's a light, invisible light here. You can take 1 million people inside your heart, the light will never go off. Take one person who's hate, the light goes off. What an amazing thing. So I want to ask people nowadays, who is the person in this world so great that can switch off the light in your heart? Is it worthwhile taking anybody inside your heart with hate and love, hate and jealousy and whatever, who can switch off the light in your heart? Nobody is worth that. That's why Swami says, love all, serve all, help never, hurt never. Simple. So this is our chance. The meaning of love is, the Bhakti Yoga is love Not the picture or the idol, but love the divinity in everyone that you worship. That is the height of it. Then you have people like Gandhi, people like Christ, the Buddha, and all the great saints of the world. They loved unconditionally. Whatever suffering, they just loved. Karma Yoga is service to me, service. Simple. Service to man is service to God. So how to serve God? You know what they say in Hinduism? They say, if you serve at the altar of the temple, remember this is a powerful saying, if you serve at the altar of the temple, it does not reach the walking gods outside. Serve the walking gods, and automatically it reaches the altar of the temple. There's a great saying that Baba gave once, a great story that Baba gave. Islamic context he gave this. There was a man called Abu bin Adam, Baba said. It's a poem on this Abu Adam. And he was in those days, in the time of the wars, in the early days, Arab war. He was, Muslims supposed to pray 5 times a day. But he was so busy serving the wounded soldiers, that he didn't have time for this 5 times a day prayer. He didn't have time. He was serving. One day he saw an angel come into the tent. The angel having a big book, in his hands. And he asked Abu bin Adam, check Google or something, you get Abu bin Adam. Maybe. And he said, angel, what is that you're holding? And the angel replied, my son, these are the names of those who love God. Wow, I love God so much. Can you see my name is there? So the angel went to, what's your name? Abu bin Adam. He went through. I'm so sorry, your name is not here. He said, what? My name is not there? No, your name is not here. The angel disappeared. Abu bin Adam felt very sad. My God, I'm following the teachings of Allah. I'm serving this yet. But no, never mind. Doesn't matter then. I must do my duty. He continued serving. 2 days later, the angel came again. This time holding a small piece of paper in his hand. And Abu Adam, what is the paper? He said, my son, this is the list of paper of those who love God, whom God loves. These are names of those who God loves, and your name is the first. What a powerful saying for Karma Yoga. Everybody's, this is telling the ocean. Finally, surrendering one's problems to God. Everybody loves God to take the problems away. Isn't it? Hello? Oh God, I got this problem, that problem, and surrender the problem to you, But actually people want to surrender, but they don't know how to surrender. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of this. You see, once I remember in Colombo Sai Center, one lady came and told me, brother, I'm crying, I got this problem, brother, I have no problem. I said, Amma, what am I saying to this personal family problem? She said, Amma, don't worry, surrender everything to God, surrender everything to Baba. No, I've already surrendered, brother. He said, no, Ma, you haven't surrendered. I'm surrendered, brother. I said, Amma, you haven't surrendered. Why you tell me I'm not surrendered? I'm already surrendered, she said. Amma, you're not surrendered. I said, what do you mean? So I'm going to tell you the long story I told her. Very good is. You see, what is the meaning of surrender to God? Okay. So this is a handkerchief. Okay. And if I come to handkerchief here, and I come to this brother here, brother, what's your name? Ashwin. I'm surrendering this handkerchief to you. Take it. Take. I'm hanging on handkerchief now. I'm not giving up. Then finally I said, okay, you want to take it up? Take it. Now Ashwin, you got my handkerchief. I don't care whether you wash it, throw it away, whatever you do, I don't care. It's not your concern. So now the handkerchief is your concern. Okay? Now give back. Hello, I know it's a nice new handkerchief. There you go, please. This is an example of the concept of surrender of problems to God. You see, this handkerchief, where do you all carry this handkerchief? You all don't this handkerchief here? Where do you all carry this handkerchief? Pockets or handbag, right? Isn't it? Okay. Must I tell everything? Okay. So the handkerchief, dear devotees, you carry in your pocket. Where do you carry your problems? Hello? Where in your head? Exactly. So here we are, this is the problem. I don't know which problem this is. Could be a wife problem, husband problem, uncle problem, auntie problem, job problem. You carry the problem on your head. Now you go to the temple. And you go to the temple and you whether to temple, Murugan temple, or you go to Sai center and say, oh Muruga, Muruga, I surrender this problem to you, Muruga. I surrender at your lotus feet, Muruga. You surrender the problem and go. Then you pray and cry, whatever, and then say, okay, Muruga, thank you, Muruga. Dear devotees, all of you will remember this in your own lives, okay? You go to the temple, you offer the soul to God, and you take it immediately back. How do you now, tell me what's the meaning of this? If after you surrender that problem, don't cry, don't worry, nothing. This problem is your, but that's difficult. Because the moment you leave this problem there and go, as long as you're in the temple, you may not worry about the problem again. The moment you get into your car, dang, 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 dang. My wife, husband, like that problem. So how do you tackle this? Send him back. The trick is to be aware that you're worrying. The secret is to be aware that you're worrying. Somebody worry. For hours you worry without thinking, you know. Hey, why am I worrying? I already sent it, no. Send it back. How? Chant a mantra. Sing a bhajan. Om Triambakam Vijami, whatever, chant a mantra, sing a bhajan, send it. Who gave the 10 commandments?
God.
Moses, you all know, gave 10 commandments. Gayatri mantra, we don't know. Huh? Who? When we had the track session, I'll tell you. Hindu track session. Anyhow. So dear devotees, the Gayatri mantra, there's a very wonderful saying, they say that if you forget any other mantra, don't forget the Gayatri. Why do they say that? What is the difference between the Gayatri and the others that people say this kind of thing? The great saints are saying, not me. This all we had track session, we'll talk about this a bit, and then now it's not time. But whatever it is now, my best suggestion is, when you do this prayer, you chant any prayer you want. What Baba said, I tell you, Baba said, when you every morning, the moment you get up, repeat the Gayatri 3 times. The moment you go to bed, when you're lying in bed, chant the Gayatri 3 times. Why? It gives explanation. He says, it will negate accidental sins you may have committed. Accidental sins, not deliberate sin. I mean, let us say you said something to his brother here, without meaning to hurt him, but he got hurt. You're not aware. That's an accidental sin. Or you walk in the grass, and you walk in the grass, the night time you're going now, here, there's some grasshopper there on the floor. You don't notice the floor. You step on him and kill him. Accidental sin. All that cancels. But if you see the grasshopper, that is not accidental sin. For that you'll go to heaven. So dear devotees, so this is the thing. So surrendering to the both things, how do you surrender from worries to God? Don't let it come on worry. I do it all the time. I'm telling you exactly what I do. Not that I have a lot of problems now. The problem comes, hey, chi. Like this, and I say, chi. Why should I think about this? Why should I go to me? Who? Because I mean, somebody says something bad to me. I say, chi. Why should I allow the flow to switch off the light in my heart? I love the flow anyhow. The best way I tell you to confound the flow loves you, who trying to wrong you, you love the flow back. If you hate the flow, he'll accept it. The flow is bad to you, brother, I love you. So you can't tolerate that, okay? You're a fool. Something humbly tells you. You say, you're a fool. That makes no fools, okay? But humbly says, you're a fool, and you say, yes, brother, I'm a fool. You're a very clever fool. Feeling double attitude, okay? You don't know what to say after. The story here about this, two fellows were in a car. They're going, they came to cross a narrow bridge, 1 mile bridge. And both the fellows came in the middle of the bridge. The bridge can only take one car. Both stuck in the middle of the road. The one fellow puts the windscreen down and says, "Hey, I don't give way to fools." The other fellow puts his windscreen down. "Don't worry, sir, I always do." And then he backs his car, okay? Now tell me, who was the fool, okay? Now imagine that the other fellow says, "I also don't give way to fools." Two fools sitting on the bridge for 1 hour. Okay? Cancel the thing. Negation. That is surrendering your problems to God. Okay? That is what is. I've given you this, the ultimate concept of surrender. What does Bhagavan say about this? Baba says. He says, his definition of a devotee, Baba's definition of a devotee, he says, what does it mean when Baba says, take whatever happens as my grace? Watch now. He says, take whatever happens as my grace. Wow, that's a very funny thing there to imagine now a new devotee is coming from the new devotee, a lot of problems, and he comes to Sathya Center and he's sitting at the back of the hall. Wow, Baba Center, first time he's coming, Baba will solve the problem for me. Then the chairman reads the message of the week. Baba says, take whatever happens as my grace. Hey Swami, do me a favor. Can you give this grace to some other fellows, okay? What a minute, that is surrender. Whatever happens to devotees is some karmic consequence coming to you. Cancel it. How do you cancel that? Oh, okay, that's another subject altogether. Anyway, next time. What's the time? I'm sure. Now then he says, not just happiness, also sorrow and misfortune. Take whatever happens, not only just happiness, sorrow and misfortune also my grace. Why? It helps you overcome past karma. Let me share this with this. Nice topic here. You see, devotees, anybody accountants here? Wow, okay. So I can't bluff too much. So here's an account. There is the bank account. There is this karmic account we got. Okay. So here we have now credit balance and debit. Credit debit. So why is that we are born? Very simple. According to the Sanatana Dharma teachings, last birth we did some good. So credit. Last birth we did also a lot of bad. Okay. So debit. When the debit is more than the credit, you're born again. Finish. Until you have a chance to cancel this. Cancel now. Now watch. How do you now balance your account? Account will tell you. Number one, how do you balance? Number one, you must put more credit here, okay? Or you pay off all this the debt you owe. Then you balance your account, okay? So what do you know? That's what Baba says now. You do seva, help others. When anything good you do, help others, your credit balance increases in this karmic balance account. Karmic balance account. Then but then what you don't know is this. What you don't know is this. What you know how long this is, This thing could be 5-6 pages, Okay. So how are you going to balance this? So whatever now, that is where, because of past karma, negative things happen to you. You lose something, people fight with you, you lose money, you lose whatever it is. Somebody tells bad about you, okay? So somebody tells bad about you. Here's a chance for you to cancel this. How? If one curses you, you tell blessing. You're a fool. You're a clever. At once you cancel that, Cancel, chance to cancel. But whatever it is, the fellow said you're a fool. You say you're a fool. Add a few more. So we end up now adding more and more debit. So that's why Swami says now, love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Do not allow anybody to disturb this peace within you, okay? So two things now, serve and forgive. Forgive. Don't fight back. People say now, Christ was asked, how many times should we forgive someone? He says, 9 times, 99 times. 9 times, 99 times. Oh Christ, listen, I better go to another religion, okay? In Hinduism, less, okay? Only 2 times should be forgiven. Everybody takes, therefore when sorrow comes or challenges come, the chance for us now to cancel the debit account, okay? And do it with grace, do it with the God with you, then you cancel it. Do service. Now we come to an interesting situation. Now, more Sai devotees, the normal devotees, who do service, selflessly. They have no, for them, they don't, if you go to old camp or medical camp or whatever you all do, no one praises them. No one praises them. They just do service for them, credit becomes fantastic. The chairman of the center, the leader of the group, he is in danger. Because he has a chance for him now to get some credit over here. But if he stands there and says, you see, because of me all this happened, okay. And I want my photograph there, take it, okay. Finished. This thing is lost. Okay. So they have another account now in Devaloka. They have an access account. All the access come here. Now watch another one. When the guy is holding his position, very dedicated, chairman center, secretary of temple, committee members of the temple, not this temple, other temple or whatever, okay? So they all doing lot of seva. The moment they lose their position or they step down, I'm not going to do. Let the fellow do, see. But I was there, I was doing so much. Why should I help him now? The moment you step down and step out, that means you're doing the work only because of position. But all this goes here. You lose all the credit. So that's why in Malaysia, I tell every Sai Sangha leader in Malaysia, you step down, never step out. President comes down, he comes to us as a vice president somewhere, office worker somewhere, doing something, Do not step out. If you step out, then you're only doing this because you are in the position. These are common sense kind of rules of life. The devotees. What is Sai's definition of devotee? He says, be even my samadhi. Samadhi, Baba. Samadhi is not when you die. When you live. Come with me. Victory or defeat, in success or failure, in joy or sorrow, be equal-minded. Samabuddhi. That is samadhi. Living samadhi, not dead samadhi. So can we do this? Can we, in victory or defeat, God, your will be done. Success or failure, your will be done. Joy or sorrow, your will be done. This is the challenge, ultimate challenge of spirituality, whether you're a Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, or whatever. All the teachings of the scriptures talk about this. What does Swami mean to accept sorrow and failure, defeat, as His grace? I just explained that to you already. Dear devotees, Baba says, men should not have any desire separate from one desire to fully surrender to God. And already gave a big explanation of the meaning of surrender, different dimensions of surrender. Everything belongs to God and only to God. Surrendering means implicitly following the commands given to you by the Lord, whose directions will be clearly heard when it is enshrined in your heart. But how can you implicitly follow the commands of the Lord unless you know what He wants you to do? Okay, Sai devotees, we know. Christians know. The Buddhists may know, because how do the Hindus know? So, that is where now the language of the gods, the symbols they hold in their hands, give a total message of what the teachings of divinity are. It's incredible. How did this, 5,000 years ago, they developed the science of symbolism. This is the wonder of Hinduism. Which is, I think I'll have a track session with Dato. Surrender, but discriminate what are truly divine or what are worldly desires and offer to the divine. Baba will say this. Surrender, but discriminate what is truly divine and what is worldly desires and offer to the divine. Now, what are these? Now, I share with you, okay? There's a hierarchy of desires we have in life. Watch, okay, I'm finishing now. Hierarchy of desires. First, desires that harm others. It's the lowest thing. And many people in the world look at Middle East. They wonder what's the incredible thing happening there. And look at even what in religious organizations. Everybody condemns each other, fighting each other unnecessarily. Desires that harm yourself. Drinking, alcoholism, cigarette smoking, drug addiction. Harm yourself. Which is what, then next is desires that demean you. Desires that when you do something, people look at you and say, "Gee, what kind of life?" Fighting with each other, calling names, condemning people that demean you. Desires that are unnecessary. Baba talked about ceiling and desires. We want to accumulate. Even though we don't need something, we want it again. Baba did that. Desires that are unnecessary. Desire to seek acclaim for good work done. Now we come to higher level, you're doing good work. Yet you desire acclaim for good work done. Niskama karma. Desire for prayer rewards. Oh God, I pray to you. In Malaysia, for example, now, there's inflation. Those days, when the chariot comes around, they break 5 coconuts, asking for wish. Today, 10 coconuts. Same thing, inflation. In fact, in Malaysia, whatever they do, the Chinese, one thing, the Chinese people are very fantastic. They are Buddhists or whatever it is. They 100%, they really worship anybody. So the Hindu temple, Hindu chariot comes by, they see their neighbor breaking 5 coconuts. The Chinese one next year, he'll have 10 coconuts there. Then the Hindu fellow sees 10 coconuts. He'll bring 20 coconuts. The question is now, why do you break coconut? Why does God want you to break all the coconut his, Why? This track session is what we'll explain all that. Now it's no time. Because already Dr. Reddy has shown his words. He said, people are hungry. Desire. And finally, at the apex, desire for moksha. Niskama prema, niskama karma. Niskama prema is selfless love, leading to selfless service. Then comes the next question, devotees, what is moksha? There's something to reflect upon, okay? Anyway, time to just end up this one. What is moksha? Okay? What is moksha? I'll stop here. I'll tell you the story. Again about this friend of mine. His name was Reddy, not this Reddy. All of us so many common names here, okay? This chap, Sathya, he wanted to learn all his mantras. And he went to the Balvika class where they're teaching children all the mantras. He sat behind his class and learned every mantra in the book. Then, every morning at 4 o'clock, 4:30, what time 4:30, 4:30. He'd sit down in front of the altar, and start chanting mantras. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namam Gam Ganapatiye Namaha Tatpurushaya Vitmahe Vakrahundaya Dhimahi. Went on and Om Triambakam Vijamhi, went on and on. Every day pray, every day, 1 hour, 4 to 5 in the morning, you pray. Finally, God got fed up. Okay? Who won't get fed up? 5 o'clock in the morning, you wake him up. Okay? So the altar exploded. Okay? And there, she was Prabhu, he said, my son. I can see instant recognition now. My son, I hear your prayers. Prabhu, come, my son. Come where, Prabhu? I'm taking you away from this world. Prabhu, permanently or temporarily? Permanently, my son. But why, Prabhu? Every morning for the last few years, you have been praying to me, take me, take me, take me. I've come to answer your wish. But Prabhu, where I ask you to take me, Prabhu? My son, in the 3rd mantra you always chant, Swami, I've never chanted mantra again, Swami, give me a break. Dear devotee. That's why they say, Baba says this. He says, when you chant the mantra, make sure you know the halo of the meaning. The halo of the meaning must the mind's eye. If not, God may give you what you want, okay? Like, this, who was this, okay, let's test his name. Who was the lady who married 5 people? Draupadi, right? 5 people. You know how it happened?
Yeah.
How? Tell us.
Well, Arjuna brought her home and...
No. But what made it happen? That you're right, that's what happened. But what made this thing happen? Yes, brother.
She asked in her previous life 5 times for husband and
Exactly, whatever, he was praying for a good husband, past birth, praying for a good husband. Suddenly she was so pleased, he came to her and said, what do you want now? What do you want, Maja? So she was so excited now. I want husband, 5 times husband. Okay, Tataksu. Tatatsumi, that will happen, okay? You'll have 5 husbands. No, I need only one. Actually, sorry, I cannot take it back. So you'll have, that's how it is. But then the next thing happens. Okay? It's like that. Be careful what you ask for. We might give it to you. Devotees. So I think I'll stop here. There are a few other things, but I think I'm getting late. I hope this will be interesting to you, okay? Alright? I've given you a very practical application how next time. Think or reflect on this now, what is surrender, okay? And see how you surrender yourself to God, how do you surrender problems to God, how do you surrender the waves of the ocean of life. What is meaning of surrender, asking God, surrender, like this, okay? Think of this. Okay. So now let's finish 1 or 2 bhajans. Okay, that's very. I want to share with you a song. The other day I sang a song about Swami, about how can I love you more, dear Sai, okay? Now, some of you were there, you may have heard the song, if not, you listen to the recording, is there. But today, as you know, I'm launching this program called the Hope Agenda around the world. Hope Agenda means honor our parents every day. Honor our parents every day. No more once a year, Father's Day, Mother's Day, with a card. Okay, every day of your life, the youth of this world, whoever has a living father and mother, however old you are, you must behave in such a way that the father and mother will thank God for this son, for this daughter. I find sometimes the devotees, when father or mother dies, the son or daughter will come and cry, Appa, Mama, and I feel like walloping the because after doing their life, they never cared for the father and mother. They go overseas somewhere and write once a year, they write a card and, hello, how are you, Papa? Oh, I love you, Papa. That's it. Okay. But they never do anything for them in their life. Okay. So, but this song I've got now is about mothers and parents' love song. The other time I sang this song, those of you who missed this, I got a CD on this song on mother's love. Okay, is there love in this world greater than mother? How many of you heard the song today? Okay, so anyway, there's a CD there, you all can reproduce it. But the other song now is for parents. Hope song for parents. People cry for parents after they're gone. Actually, this song originated when I sang it for Swami. I sang the song for Swami in bhajans. Don't cry for him when he's gone. Now I realize I can't sing that song anymore. This is for parents. Don't cry for them when they are gone.
Don't cry for them when they're gone.
Don't cry, Mama, when she's gone.
Don't cry, Mama, when she's gone.
Don't cry, Papa, when he's gone.
Don't cry, Papa, when he's gone.
Don't cry for them when they are gone. Don't cry for them when they are gone. Don't cry for them when they are gone. Don't cry for them when they are gone. Don't cry, Mama, when she's gone. Don't cry, Mama, when she's gone. Don't cry, Papa, when he's gone. Don't cry, Papa, when he's gone. cry for them. Don't cry, Amma, when she's gone. Don't cry, Appa, when he's gone. Don't cry for them when they're gone. The path to heaven is very simple. If your mother and father thank God every day for having a son and daughter like you, sure of heaven. The entire human values of life will always follow you. Very simple. Kanda, 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 Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, 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 Kumara, Lavani, Kanda, 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 Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, Kanda, Kadivelavani, Kanda, Kanda, Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, 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 Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, 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 Muruga, oh Muruga, 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 oh Muruga, Muruga, oh Muruga, Muruga, oh Muruga, Muruga, oh Muruga, 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 மையில் வாதனனே முருகா, 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 மயில் வாகனனே முருகா, 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 மயில் வாகனனே முருகா, 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 மயில் முருகா, முருகா, முருகா. All together now. Kanda, Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, 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 Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, 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 Muruga, oh Muruga, Muruga, oh Muruga, Muruga, மையில் வாகனனே முருகா, 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 மயில் வாகனனே முருகா, 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 சரவண பவாய வேல் முருகா, சரவண பவாய வடிவேலா, சரவண பவாய வேல் முருகா, ஓம் சரவண பவாய வேல் முருகா, வேல் முருகா, சரவண பவாய வடிவேலா, சரவண பவாய வடி. All together. Kanda, Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, 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 Kumara, Kadivelavani, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு, வீரவேல் முருகனுக்கு, சக்திவேல் today for sharing. Yeah, thank you for sharing this final day. I'm here in Joburg. Tomorrow I fly to Mauritius. We've got a heavy program there, launching a massive hope program there in Mauritius. I think I showed you on the PowerPoint the other day. They built this, honor our parents every day. They built 3 monuments in Mauritius to honor parents. The monuments show father and mother blessing children. How many of you saw this thing I showed yesterday? Okay. Let me show this to you now. It's the last part of it. I think this is an incredible thing because this, how did this is all Swami's will. This is Swami's legacy. How did the Mauritius government accept this thing? Because they realize now it's so vital, start to have this. So they built this monument using private sector funding actually. And it says there on the monument, it is strengthening human values and family life. The Ministry of Gender Equality, Child Development and Family Welfare in collaboration with the Indian Ocean Center for Education. This is the Sai EHD. Hope on our parents every day. Unveiled by Honorable Minister of Gender Equality and the Friends of all his people. And what is the statue? The statue, this is the monument. It's a bit big here. It's a monument showing father and mother blessing 2 children. And 3 of these now have been built all over Mauritius. And I show this to you now, you can maybe see this. But that was the one while the process, this is the completed version. And the message we are giving there under the hope is, seek your parents' blessing whatever you do in life. That's our ultimate message. Mada, Pida, Guru, Deva. Already 3 monuments, and I'm going actually at invitation now for the 4th monument. The 4th monument is very unusual. They say it's going to be in the center of a fountain. And it's going to speak. I don't know what the monument is going to speak, but that's what they tell us. And I want to share with you something fantastic. This invitation now they're sending around Mauritius about this Hope Monument. They say under the patronage of the Municipal Council of Quadre Monument, Minister of Gender Equality, Child Development and Family Welfare in collaboration with the Indian Ocean Center, pleasure of inviting you to the official launching of the Hope on our parents everyday fountain. It's a fountain, an iconic fountain with human values based on light and sound show. And then they go on to say, this is by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Mauritius. Raja, whatever it is, President of Mauritius. And the funny thing is now, at least they appreciate what kind of contribution we played. In the presence of Dato Jegathesan and Dr. Professor Suresh Govin. Suresh Govin is Malaysian Sai Council President who went to Mauritius and launched the whole together. This was Saturday, 10th November. So and then this is just only the 4th one. They want to build another one, huge one. And they want to make Mauritius island of values. And the basic foundation of values must be filial piety. Without that there can be no values. So this is what the devotees are things that we can achieve. We can achieve given the desire for devotees and leaders to get together to achieve something grand and noble. So these words, thanking the temple committee for being so patient allowing us to have this day. Thank you very much, sir. I know who are the temple committee. Who are the temple committee members here? No one? No, okay. Anyhow, I want to also thank all my brothers here. I want to thank Brother Reddy, Reddy, I'm not sure how they call him, for being the one who I wrote to him and said, guys, I'm coming here. I came here actually for an economic conference. There was a conference on Asia, Africa economic conference. I was invited as a speaker. And this conference organizer paid my airfare to come. That's why it's very expensive to come here. It takes about 20 hours to get here. So that's why I came and told him coming, so it's free for the guys. Yes, so free means they use it. Yes, okay. I also want to thank, so many others now, but our Christian, he had to go for a meeting. And also, especially my wife and I want to thank Brother Rajesh. Brother Rajesh, when we came actually, we had booked a hotel to stay. Because we were saying, I don't want to disturb people. Okay, we come here, why should we disturb devotees? They told me, so in fact, they kindly booked a hotel. Then Rajesh actually was supposed to take us from Point A. He said, why are you staying in a hotel? Why you don't stay in some devotee's house? I I said, brother, we don't disturb people. You say, what is that? No problem. No, what is that? What is that? Who? Everybody happy to have you. I said, okay, listen, if someone offers, we'll think about it, ask my wife and we'll think about it. Then I didn't know where we were going to stay. Until about 8 o'clock at night, time is actually coming to my house to stay. So he's very kind. I mean, he's accommodating us the other day and today. And being a very, very gracious host. Brother, I want to thank you for being such a one. And I would like to, on behalf of myself and my wife, like to give you a small token, brother, of our love to you. Please come. I know you don't like this, what do you do? Once I got the mic, you can't control me. And this is a real gift of love, brother, to you. You see, if you're expecting it, I won't give you now. Since you totally didn't expect this, okay? So I just want to ask you to hold the mic. Hold the mic. Small gift of love from my wife and myself. That's all my name. He has told me that he would like to implement this whole program, interfaith unity, everything, you know. So brother, I'm giving the Karmic so that he helps you remove all obstacles in your way. Everybody's. Let me hand the mic over to who? Who has stepped down? What's the protocol here? I can't close this session because now my session is closed. So ready? Thank you.
I offer my humble pronouns to our loving Swami for allowing us and giving us this opportunity to indulge with the Jegathesan all the way from Malaysia in his most simple, humble form. And he's Sir Jegathesan. And in Malaysia, they call him as Dato Jegathesan. And as in Swami's words, Swami descended and come here as God in human form to allow us to understand and be close. And the simple living and high thinking, and that's about the Jegathesan. As one of the world leaders, and who've come to South Africa for many years, interacted with many people at the conference level in Prashanti and here. And he's the only leader shown us openness and transparency and the love. When it comes to South Africa, he doesn't ask us, he just instructs us, because he realizes that we are in family. And he is part of us, he's our elder, inspiration for all of us. And he has an open agenda of love of God, fear of sin, and the morality society. He's inspiration for us, and every year he's shown us something to do. Those of you who were in Indonesia on Saturday, and Brother Kishan was there, and he spoke. What Swami is that if you hear something that's absolute truth, that is Sathya. No English can translate that. It's only when a dictum is explained, and then it's practiced, then you factually report on it, then it's truth. So he's given us a symbolism of truth. All of us, the wonderful audience, we heard this in Indonesia. So, and everybody was very quiet, and we had an elderly lady, she was 78, and she spoke about the challenges facing her as a mother, and as a parent, and as a grandparent, and the problems that are existing, and she brought in the open. Here, mother was crying in her voice to say, are you going to implement this honor your parents every day? To me, it was that as if the US people, leaders or young people say, you want to absorb this knowledge and take it and keep it selfishly in file 13, and then convene a meeting to discuss it. So I said this partial Swami's teaching is that if you believe in something, you must manifest it. So I went before the closure, I took the mic and I said to the audience, how many of you would like this program to happen? Almost everybody had consensus. I said, if you want this to happen, and Brother Krishna was the Central Council, I said, I'll call Brother Krishna, you're the member of the Central Council in the country, in Gauteng. I said, let's give a pledge to the wonderful expression of the teachings, and let's make it happen. So, Brother Krishna, the Central Council, and Gauteng, we have pledged 2 programs. Honor your parents every day, and the Interreligious Interfaith program will take place as a gift for Swami's 87th birthday. So these people were not there, but Vinny is here, I'm going to call him just now to bring the spot. To give the East an opportunity, as we've committed in Pretoria, as a community in Asia, to be part of this integrated process, to become unique and different in the way we map. Somebody said to aim low is a crime, right? In 1997 World Youth Conference, he said this. So we all, and all of us with energy, in the world is youth, so Jegathesan got all this energy. And why is Jegathesan to us so special? He's not only leaders who like to take the mic and would orate the teachings, but it's a manifestation as a leader, as a founder of the organization in Malaysia, as a founder of the economic change of spectrum of Malaysia. Malaysia was like South Africa, right? But as heading the Malaysian Industrial Development Authority, and in the early formative years of Malaysian development, they took the challenge not to be strangled by the Western economics philosophy, by the failed school, the London School of Economics, and the Massachusetts Institute of Economics of the world, right? Who failed our economy and ends with recession. So Malaysia took the responsibility to say that they will come at an intrinsic economy to drive it to become self-sufficient. Now they're one of the world leaders, and he was here to talk as an economist at the Asia-Africa conference about this change mechanism of economics. And hopefully, by some grace, South Africa will change that. So he showed us in practice. And when we went to Malaysia in 1982, as young people, to learn about the self-service program, we saw him in action doing it. And that is truth. So leadership is about this. So now we said this hope prayer, we're going to make it happen. As individuals, as families, as an organization center. So the challenge is that how can we make it happen better than where else has happened? High to the rise as Swami, as a son of Mother Ishwarama. When the mother said, I want a school, I want a water project, but he built a university, built hospitals. So we believe we are the sons and we are the children of Mother Sai. What's the responsibility? To at least follow what Sai as a son said, and we as daughters have said, right? And when he went to Mudan Ali, and people said, you know what, Swami, you went to Mudan Ali to build a university when nobody else has done. So he responded to the love of the community and he gave the university. So like that, responded to the love of the devotees here, post Samadhi of Swami was a vacuum, and he said, Brother Jegathesan. And we thank Swami for this. So Swami has given us this now to expand our consciousness of the organization from an intrinsic Sathya Sai organization where we sing beautiful bhajans, beautiful study circles, beautiful medical camps, but now to merge the consciousness of Swami with the world apart. The country is waiting for us, Africa waits for us. So I pledge to every one of you to come together to say that how can we make in every city, Benoni, Springs, wherever, have this honor your parental program. And how we make it into a national program and how the city of Johannesburg experiences it, whether to foot possessions or whatever it may be. So the challenge is basically all of you are leaders here from different centers and organizations. And I would call Brother Lemmy here now to come here and give you a pledge. If you believe in the program, come.
You really put me on the spot. Looks like we've been running on the spot all the time. We leaders, we should blame ourselves for this not happening much earlier. But I think we come a long way in the organization as well to be, examples as leaders. We've seen very great leaders in South Africa. Good leadership qualities. Everything starts at home. You as a parent, you're the ideal. Your children haven't seen God, okay? They've seen you. You love them, okay? And later in the years, they will ask you all these questions, But I'm praying to God, but He never gave me that love. But where is that love coming from? The answer is, it's all around you. Your parents are your gods. The people around you are divine. They are also God. The air that you breathe is God. The sunshine that you get is God. So these are the things you need to make your children understand that the parent is the first God, the first love that they get, the first person that they see as a child, right? So it's very important, and I'm very proud to say that, our children especially, they actually treat us as God, and this is something that I haven't brought about or haven't told anybody. My big son, every day, without fail, he will come and take pardon from us, In the morning, he'll take, from his mother before he goes to work. Now, this is the example you need to be in order for your son to worship you as God. If you do not show that example, nothing will happen. They will not treat you, they will not even be in the religion that you are, or be in the cycle that you are, you're in. They will seek for anything easier, than what they have. So I think I give my blessings to this program wholeheartedly, because this is love in action, and this is, we really need this. Thank you.
This is our brother. He's the head of our coordinating committee of the East Land, and so we know that it's going to happen. Right? We will thank the center here in Benoni. We thank the Eastern Coordinating Committee for allowing this program to happen, and we thank the Sivan Temple for everybody, and we thank everyone for the lovely audience. We thank Brother Jaga's lovely wife, with so gracious company, inspiring, helping do all the slides, and Brother Jaga. We really need to thank you, but gratitude to Swami for allowing to be. Thank you. We let Aarti and food prayer, and as you leave the hall on the left-hand side, the dining hall is there, and the Benoni has been gracious to serve you some snacks before you go this evening. And we would like Brother Jaga to do the Aarti for us.